your 2022 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, then this is a reading for you. It's Romy here. Thanks so much for taking the time to tune into my channel. If you are returning, or indeed if you're new and checking out things for the first time. So we're opening up with the energy of the Queen of Swords for you. You don't need more time this month, Pisces. What you need is more focus. There's something that you're seeing on the horizon here, and it may feel to you that it's a long way off, and yet there's a sense of urgency. Scorpio season is demanding of you some kind of reinvention, and all of that is about preparation. The Queen of Swords really helps you on some levels to detach emotionally so that you can kind of get the job done. And it's also about the experiences that you've been through and drawing on those experiences and using that to really help you know the best approach, the right thing to do. Because what I feel in this moment is that you have all of the pieces in front of you, but it's time to reorder them in accordance with what makes sense to you, but also what you want your life to be. So what are you calling in here? Now, as we come into the first part of November, we're going to welcome a full moon partial eclipse in Taurus. Obviously, we've been working with the Scorpio-Taurus axis, and in these fixed signs, there is a tension here. And this full moon has a Mercury-Uranus opposition, so there is a flood of information coming in, and the revealing but also the concealing is a theme that's going to be quite strong around this moon. And so what that's asking of you is to try to discern and to try to kind of disseminate from what's being shown what is important, because not everything will be. There'll be some red herrings here, there'll be some distractions, and of course we're working in Mars retrograde energy now. Now in Gemini it's your fourth house, might be a little emphasis around what's going on within home and within the family for you, especially Pisces, over these next few weeks. But Mars in Gemini also likes to have that kind of gossip, that low vibe. There's lots of words being thrown around and much of it isn't important. It's just white noise in the background. And so there is a slowing down inevitably, but the Queen of Swords here, she's in an elevated position and she's looking really clearly toward the horizon and saying, there's one single thing that I need to focus on right now. And if I can just do that one single thing, there's like an awareness in you that it's going to be like a domino effect. It's going to take so many things with it, and it's going to help to create the impact that you're looking for, bring about the change, allow the transformation. And so around that full moon eclipse, remember, we need to let go or something we're going to be invited to release. There might be some sudden changes going on around that time, but all of it's helping to prepare you. So if something shatters, let it, Pisces. It needs to be reformed into something new. And that new thing feels like it needs to have more oxygen, because Queen of Swords is bringing the element of air in. And when it brings more oxygen, it supports your expansion. And what do we receive from that? Six of Wands, the sweetness, the success, the recognition that you did the right thing, that you felt correctly, intuitively into this situation, and the way that you handled it is now going to bring you toward a new place, a different outcome, and one that you feel that you can meaningfully work with. It is, I feel, this month for you, Pisces, a big sort of what if month. And within that, it's important that you don't make assumptions. You've got to kind of allow on a day-to-day basis the universe, the information, the energies to unfold and be presented in front of you. And as we embrace our Scorpio energy in the first part of the month, we are the detective, we are the spiritual detective, and we have to figure out what that means. And that's why I'm saying all of these pieces are in front of you. So as you get to redefine what success looks like for you in your relationships, in your health, in your career, in every area of your life, there's something really important about how November is helping to kind of clear out and transmute and bring to this powerful closure old contracts, sacred vows. There's a lot of karmic, especially family connected, that's closing out through the course of this month. Now, what you also have working for you as we move through this month is the asteroid goddess Vesta in your sign. And we actually have a beautiful grand water trine going on with Juno, Lilith, Vesta, and Pallas Athena all in water energy. That's going to be really beautiful for you to be working with in terms of how you are personally expressing yourself. Remember, you want to find out more about the goddess reports and how these asteroids affect you. You can check out my report over on the website. The link is below. What we also want to note this month for you is that Jupiter, having shifted back into your sign in October, which was still in retrograde, is now going to be moving direct later this month. And there's a little bit of a gift there for you, which I also think is why that Six of Wands, that beautiful hummingbird, is coming through and just almost like hitting the exact moment of the joy, the sweetness. Again, you see you're in an elevated position with all of these cards. So what the universe is asking is look beyond the wall. Yeah, don't get caught up in the spiraling energy of what's going on in some parts of the narrative, or you'll get caught in that riptide and it'll pull you under. So what we want you to do is to look toward the kind of future, the sort of world, the kind of experiences that you want to have, that you want your family, your children, next generations, because you're holding the earth in your hands here. And there's something really sacred about the way that you're looking at things and how your attitude is making a huge difference in terms of what you're calling in and therefore what you are a part of by way of the solution. But there's also important plans, again, being emphasized here. And that full moon is telling me it's going to be strongly, sort of urgently pulling on you around that 8th of the month. Now, we have the 11/11 portal coming in November. Beautiful time, this gateway for change, this powerful moment of manifestation. It brings in a sense of oneness and balance and really puts a strong emphasis around your personal power. There's also a clear focus around twin flame unions, karmic connections, and so there might be some powerful shifts and changes that are going on for some of you in regards to that. There's a lot of unlearning happening, which means that you have to keep opening your mind. Now, interestingly, for me, the Two of Wands has always been a really strong timing card, and it is actually linked into, for me, the first week of April and into that very Aryan energy. Now, with Mars retrograde, there's something that you're going to be reviewing between now and that mid part of January that I feel is going to really kick off or be implemented or going to kind of come into its own around that first week into the early part of 2023. So keep that in mind. Now, you may be feeling through the course of this month some really big regrets is what's kind of coming up here. They might be surfacing, but what I want to say to you is that you can start here, you can start now, you can make incredible progress. Again, not as you focus on time, but as you give yourself the opportunity to almost like set one clear priority and just give yourself permission to really immerse yourself in that. The Five of Cups is showing that regret that was just coming through there. Yeah, it's sometimes as simple as asking yourself, does this actually still feel good to me? You might be in a situation, in a relationship, and something going on right now that you've been a part of for a really long time. The maturity of how long her hair is here is indicative of that. And yet it's just not lighting you up, or it's robbed you of the experience of being able to direct or send your focus or attention somewhere else. And so, you're having to deal with the grief of that in some way, coming to terms with something. But remember, like Scorpio season is absolutely the time of reinvention and rebirth. And like the phoenix, we rise from the ashes. So whatever it is that you feel, that sense of despondency, disappointment, regret, grief, energy, all of it can be alchemized and transmuted and sort of enable you to put it towards something that you know is the most important thing in your world right now. What is that? What is the most important thing for you? Do you even know? Because this is the time through this month of November as we work with that 9th house where you're being invited to expand your horizon. You are, opening your mind to new learning. your spiritual journey is taking you to places that you probably had never even dreamed would kind of activate you or move you or inspire you in the way that they have been. So take this opportunity to reorder those pieces in front of you. It's going to make such a huge difference, I feel, and harness that portal of that 1111 gateway, because there's something again that we want you to be focused on in terms of what you're calling in. Now remember, Vesta in Pisces, and she's going to shift into your sign on the 20th. She really honors that beautiful, sacred inner flame. And what she's saying is, believe in the beauty of your dreams. Yeah, believe in the beauty of your dreams, Pisces. Again, we're almost acting as the lighthouse. You might be a safe harbour for many people through the course of this month. One of the themes that's been coming up through the soul stories is about the way we're being granted safe passage, even though we may feel the churn and the unease of some of the challenges and the energies that we're having to navigate. You know, what we're receiving by way of new earth energies, cosmically, galactically, are so powerful that we are being given the tools that we need to be able to continue to evolve. And you're in this position of wisdom here with the Hermit. You have wise counsel. You are the one that people are going to be seeking to help them to navigate those seas, rough seas perhaps. But there might also be a part of you that feels quite self-contained, a little bit shut down. You might even feel a little bit isolated or lonely or cut off from someone or something. And again, there might be some grief or disappointment, sadness that's coming up, bubbling up to the surface. Perhaps for some of you, there are going to be things that you're reflecting on as we move toward the end of this year that think, you know, I didn't expect to be here at this point. I thought I'd be further on, or that things were going to have unfolded in a very different way. What I want to say to you in relation to that is there's still a few weeks before we reach the end of 2022. And even then, it's not about time, like what's destined for you, what you are truly meant to experience at a soul level. And let's talk about that from a spiritual assignments perspective, because it's a big theme this month, and it's actually one of the soul journeys that I've put together for my Sacred Soul Support, which you'll find over on the website as well. And these are things that I put together to complement the soul stories, by the way. You know, it's all of the counsel and the downloads that I get to help you on your soul journey. But my understanding really is we have our each unique soul contract, but the spiritual assignments that are given to us can change. Depending on the season, depending on where we're at, what we're going through, or what we're meant to be playing in terms of a role for somebody else on their pathway. Page of Swords here, you know, you've got something to say and you feel incredibly earnest about it, actually. There's an honesty and an earnestness here that I think is important. So you do need to, and you will find that you have to express yourself. There's some beautiful energy as we look at this flower and the wishes that are being created in terms of anything creative by way of writing, speaking, publishing, expressing. And it's like the accumulation of so much knowledge and experience that you have is really important. I also think that someone's reaching out to you. So even where you may feel a little bit disconnected or isolated, there's also opportunities of those lines of communication to be reopened. Or to be strengthened, important messages that are going to come towards you. And remember, from that, you have the opportunity to make new plans. You have the opportunity to actually receive some really incredible news that I think is going to elevate you, lift your spirit, give you a sense of rising confidence. And yet at the same time, I have some crippled insecurity around you. It's like this really weird sort of conflict that is rising up at the moment that says, like, in some areas in my life, I feel more confident than I ever have. Like I'm expanding and I feel like I'm taking up more space. My aura is flooding the room. I've got this sense of magnetism, Scorpio really helping that. And yet at the same time, like something being cast up within you, an old trigger, an old wound that says, how dare I, it can't happen, it won't happen, it might get pulled from under me. So we might be dealing with a little bit of that through this month. But as we come into Sagittarius season, new moon in Sag on the 23rd, whole stellium of planets. We've got Mercury and Venus shifting into the sign on the 15th and the 17th, but also Jupiter going direct in Pisces on the same day as the new moon. And there's something really tender and magical about that. Even if you feel something is just out of reach, yeah, you might have that feeling it's just out of reach. don't worry, okay? There might just be a period of 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and something's going to feel like it's much more like you can touch it with your hand, you can grasp it, you can hold on to it, okay? Remember, Mars retrograde will also reveal those hidden agendas. So there's a full disclosure energy that's going to come through in November. You'll hear what you need to hear, although, again, as we said with that full moon in Taurus, there's a kind of revealing and concealing energy. So you might also feel that around you there's a sort of trust vibe that's kind of being activated. You might be reviewing relationships and connections, again, where you're investing energy. So let's take a look at the last 3 cards, which we'll cover off in our extended reading. If you're new to the channel, then you will find the link for that in the comment and description box below. We talk for another 25 minutes or so, go deeper into this month ahead, and I've listened to your feedback. You can also now use Stripe card payments as well as PayPal, guys, so thank you so much for that. Okay, I'm also just going to invite you right now to think about a personal question, Pisces. It might not have come up in the main spread. We will be covering that off in our extended reading. All the decks that I use are also listed below for you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and clarify this spread, which will give us our insights as to where to take these messages. This is a chakra deck, which is interesting because it also gives us through the coloured borders a little bit of a heads up as to what's going on with your energy centers through this month as well. So 3 of Swords coming in there along with the 5 of Cups. So there's a little bit of an upset or a pain point you might be dealing with this month. 3 of Wands coming in here, 4 of Swords. More there. Magician, beautiful. Another 5 of Cups there, 6 of Swords. You've got lots of 3s coming in here, such generative, creative energy to be working with. And I think that's what I've been saying to people about this Mars retrograde transit. You know, as much as it can kind of make us lose our drive and momentum and we can feel a little bit lackluster, you know, for others, it's just going to be an incredible opportunity to visit projects or ideas or things that you've never been able to get off the ground and focus on and really kind of see incredible progress. During that time. You've got another Page of Swords, another Queen of Swords coming through there. 4 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, nice. You know, you have such a uniqueness, Pisces, and it really can't be bottled, and we just want to make sure this month that you're not trying to mirror what you think you should be doing, what others are doing. You need to do you. You need to kind of tap into that essence because it's what truly sets you apart, and it's how people really value you and feel magnetically drawn towards you. So this is your Oracle card for the month of November, and this is my new deck, Life Soul Vision Oracle, which honestly, like, the energy of this is created so specifically for this time to really help you guys navigate on your journeys at the moment. And if you've already purchased, you know, you're giving me some amazing feedback of how these cards are helping work with you. And if you haven't yet had a chance to look at it, please go check it out on my website. You have the sun, beautiful, charged in light. We'll go into deeper messages around that in our extended. And then just finally, Energy and Spirit Oracle here. What do we want to bring through for Pisces November? Oh, beautiful. You've got an Archangel. Archangel Zadkiel's come through. Self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. All right, beautiful. Pisces, if you are joining me for the extended, I look forward to diving into this a little more with you. And new for this month, Pisces, I'm also going to be in our extended reading covering off some messages around specifically love relationships. So for those of you in marriage or partnerships, for those of you that might be dealing with a kind of it's complicated situationship, and also if you're looking for love or just more joy from the universe. So we'll also be pulling a card for each of that in our extended reading. All right, you take good care.